Welcome to the inaugural, the pilot episode of KHALM Conversations. I know what you're thinking right off the bat. Why am I wearing this shirt? I don't know. Why am I sitting like this? I'm going to answer a lot of these questions. But first of all, I want to tell you that I am not the creator of the show. I am not the host. I'm simply the interviewer who is going to be talking to the actual host, creator, the man himself that is this podcast. I'm going to be talking to him. I'm going to explain to you what this podcast is, where it's going, kind of give you some background on what the title is about, what this podcast stand for, where it's going. And I kind of already said it, but now I'm just kind of just like, I'm fishing because I'm trying to kill some time, but I want to do something different. I'm basically going to be interviewing myself because I want to kind of give an understanding of what this podcast is and what it's going to be through a creative way, I guess. And let's just get right into it. Let's talk to the man of the hour. Testing 1 2 3. I always want to do that. Now let's just start off with something simple. What is your name? My name's Dion, Leron, Charlery, Devontae Terrell. If you want to get into middle names, like Celine Dion. Nice. Yeah, like Celine Dion. And how tall are you? Why does that matter? Short. Vertically challenged is what I'd like to say. Where are you from? I'm originally from Ottawa. It's in Ontario, Canada. I grew up in Orleans, and I'm an Ottawa boy. I currently live in Brampton. I lived in Etobicoke, which I like to say I lived in Toronto, but it's not really like claiming Toronto. It's not the GTA, but I'm from Ottawa, Orleans. Shout out Orleans, 613. What's some of your favorite parts about being Canadian? Man, I mean, if you ask me like my favorite parts of Canada, or even like my favorite parts of just being Canadian, I mean, it's got to be the weather and it's got to be the people. Whoa, the weather? I know the weather sounds crazy, but just like, hear me out. Like, think about the fact that like, sure, we have like our 4 seasons. Some places just have like, they have summer, or they just have hot and then they have cold. But we have like, I know our summer doesn't last that long, but I feel like it almost makes it more. I mean, when I was a kid, definitely you would hear like a different answer. And then when I'm in the midwinter, I definitely will give you a different answer. But like, just looking forward to that summertime like all year is just, it kind of like, if you had it all year long, you'd kind of like take it for granted, I guess. Like, you wouldn't be looking forward to it. And like, winter kind of sucks, but then if you're into winter activities, it makes it fun. Fall is great. I love wearing hoodies. I love scary movies. I love that kind of like chill weather. Spring here kind of sucks though, I'll be honest. Like, spring is just like, it's kind of shit. Like, it's not ideal. But then there's the people. Like, Canadians are pretty cool. Like, you can't really tell the difference between a Canadian and American, usually just if you hear them talk. Like, it sound pretty much the same, kind of listen to the same music, kind of dress the same, unless you're from like a specific spot in the States or a specific spot in Canada. But people are cool, chill. I haven't experienced like a crazy amount of racism, so now I want to get a little deeper, a little further understanding of you. Do you have any like hobbies or guilty pleasures that people would want to know about or you want to share? Oh man, where do I even begin? Like, I love movies. Like, I'm always been a big movie guy. When I was growing up, I used to watch a lot of movies with my dad, my brothers. We used to go to the movie theaters a lot. We used to watch a lot of movies at home. So I think that's definitely where it comes from. I have so many VHSs and DVDs, and when streaming services came out, that was a problem for me because like, I almost never want to leave my house. I just wanted to watch things. But then I kind of got overwhelmed and I started watching a bunch of shit movies, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to save my time to only watch like actually like good films and like good movies. Big fitness guy. I got into fitness when I was in high school. I started working out when I was like 16. Shout out Mr. Hickey, because he was someone that like really influenced me to like really take fitness seriously. Like, it was kind of just like something I was like always just doing, and I never really realized that like it was like a thing. Like, I was just like exercise, like doing push-ups and like running and being active. Like, these were just things that were like fun to me. And then I just got introduced to this whole world of like fitness, and what a world it is. Like, fitness, the whole industry, there's a lot of parts of it like I don't like and kind of like threw me off of it for a little bit, but like I just love it so much. Just like the goal setting and just like the attitude of the people. Everyone is just so like motivating, inspiring. and it's like they're addicted to working hard, and like whatever it is, like if it's a physical thing, it could be yoga, it could be what's it called, aqua aerobics or whatever you call it, strength training. People are really into bodybuilding. Like there's just so much you could do. It's like, it's amazing. And I'm really into videography. I started recording my workouts and then just realized how much I just love I'm just holding a camera and just picking up a camera and doing things. I just love just the art of it. And in high school, I was really into art. I used to draw a lot. And I think that's where my love for art kind of like began, because I just really love doing art. Yeah, like so many. I mean, basketball is another thing too. I feel like I could do the hobby things for days. I just love so many things, just like simple things, like going for walks. I love listening to music, but like basketball is definitely a big thing. I've been playing basketball since I was about like 9 years old. Played house league, played competitive, played in high school all 5 years. I played in basketball all 5 years in high school. I did a victory lap, and I used to play in like ball leagues outside before COVID. I can't wait to get back into that. What else we got, man? Like, yeah, man. And honestly, one of the most important questions, I probably should ask this first. Why are you doing this? What was your inspiration? Why are you podcasting? Everybody and their freaking mother has a podcast now. And is it kind of oversaturated? Is there too many podcasts now? Like, are you just trying to hop on the wave? Like, why are you making a podcast? The big question, yes. Why am I doing this? I mean, there's been a lot. There's a lot going on in the whole podcasting world. I think it really exploded during the whole COVID thing, because people were trapped inside, and it was like, okay, we can do these Zoom call conversations, and it's still going on to this day. And it's like podcasts have become like a hot topic and like a hot button thing. A lot of people are making podcasts. A lot of people are posting their clips on YouTube and whatnot. But like, this isn't even like, it probably feels like, oh, he's hopping on the wave, but no, I've been listening to podcasts like forever, man. And like part of me is like really upset at myself for like only like really pushing forward now and doing this, because like I've been a really big fan of podcasts since I was like, I'd say maybe like 16 years old, maybe 17 years old. I just always used to like listening to, there's this thing called The Starters. It started with The Starters. They were like these guys that just talk about basketball, and they used to do like these daily clips on YouTube and stuff. And then on Fridays they'd do just like an audio part, and it was called like The Drop. And I was like, oh, this is really interesting. And it's like, there's a lot of energy, and like they're talking about basketball, so just like my love there. And I was like, oh man, I really love basketball. I love podcasting. I just love it. And obviously it's like, I don't know, fitness and basketball, they have a tie to, because athletes exercise. So I was always just like, oh man, I just really love this thing. And then I started listening to these guys called the Wrestlingus Show. Shout out Cav, shout out Fausti, and now Greg, we were on the show. They used to talk about wrestling. I've been a huge wrestling fan since I was like a child. Like since 2002 is when I really got into wrestling. 2003, which is a long time. I'm 25 years old. And they just like, just the dynamic of just hearing them talk back and forth, and just the funny stories, and hearing them break down wrestling, the good and the bad, talk about sports. I've never really been a big football guy, but they actually got me more into football than I ever would have gotten before. Even though I kind of played 1 year and some of my friends played football, I never really cared too much for football, but they definitely made me interested. Those dudes like really inspired me. It was just like, I guess it's the art of the conversation. It's just like, it's the hang conversation. It's like the interview conversation. It's the breaking down something, like getting deep. It's almost like sometimes when they just go in talking about one thing, it's almost like that documentary kind of feel. Some people like the documentary kind of feel kind of thing, but I just love the podcast world. And then there's also Charlemagne the God, and he's like a radio personality, and Andrew Schultz is a comedian. They have a podcast together called The Billion Idiots. I started listening to that in 2016, and that just like, it's just all those three podcasts, I still listen to them all to this day. And it's just like, it's been years. I've been listening to a lot of these podcasts, like Andrew and them 2006, that's 5 years. Lingus Show, it's been like 7 years. And then The Starters, God knows how long it's been. I've been listening to them for a long time. And yeah, man, it's been really cool to listen to that. And I've always wanted to. It's always been on my list. Like, I'm gonna do this, but I always gotta do the podcast. And I don't want to act like, oh, maybe it's too late now and it's gonna be oversaturated, but there's no better time now to start than the present. We're in the present I mean, we're always in the present, but like now is the time that I felt like this was the opportunity to do it, to go forward to it, and just finally live out. I don't want to say live out the dream. I don't want to make it too dramatic, but live out the thing that I've been wanting to do, that I've been afraid to do, just because of like all the barriers I put up. It's like, oh, I can't do the podcast because of this, or no, I shouldn't do it because of this. Oh, I'll wait a little more because of this. I'm fucking doing it. And then the whole name, KHALM Conversations. I mean, KHALM is CALM. KHALM does not. I don't think that's not calm. Why is it KHALM Conversations? Why were you King Calm on YouTube? Why were you King Kong on TikTok? Why is this the name of your podcast? Yes, the calm thing. A lot of people have asked me this. A lot of people on Instagram used to always think my name was Calm, because I was doing the whole Calm Fitness thing for a bit. I was selling the Calm Fitness t-shirts. On TikTok, I was King Calm. On YouTube, I was King Calm. And a lot of people just thought my name was Calm. My name is Dion Leron Shaw. I said it earlier, but my name is Dion Leron Shaw. Calm stands for Kyle Hayden Alexander Leron McCready. He's my older brother. He passed away back in 2010. It was I remember it vividly. It was the last day of grade 8, and I got a call from my dad finding out that my brother passed away, and it was the last day of grade 8, and I was going into high school. I was really excited to go into high school. Everyone was already crying and stuff because we're sad. Even though a lot of us were going to the same school, everyone was like really upset, and I was looking forward to going to school. And then I remember just getting that call, finding out my brother died. And then I later found out that that his death was a suicide, and that was something that hit me really hard. I mean, I was only 13 years old, and I didn't really understand it. I never knew what depression was, never knew what anxiety was, like never really understood I didn't really understand what those things really meant. You know what I mean? And like most kids don't. And I'm not saying most kids shouldn't know, but like I think definitely the stigma on this like mental health has definitely changed a lot, which I'm glad for, because it's like, yeah, a lot of kids are going through tough times and you don't even know what to clarify it as. You don't know if like, oh man, if I tell people I'm really upset or sad, like maybe they'll think I'm weak or whatever it is. You know what I mean? So it's just like, it was a really big eye-opener for me. It's definitely changed my perspective on life, and I've never really been the same in the good and the bad, because like I feel like now I check up on people more, and I'm more aware of people's emotions, and I'm more aware of my own emotions and like how to control them, how to handle them, and what are like good healthy ways of coping with the issues or the things that are going on too. I had a really good support group when I was in high school, not even just like my family, but also the friends. I'm appreciative of all the friends that I've had come in my life, come and go, unfortunately, but that's just part of life. And no, I really had a good group of friends. They never like made me feel bad, and they never like peer pressured me. I never had like these friends that were just like always putting me down. I mean, like the big three, like the big. I gotta shout out to Jamari, Scott, Jenny, Ian, and Javon, people I spent most of my time with, and obviously like my family. Early days, Katie and Naomi, and like they were a big part of my life too. Oh man, I could just keep listing for days. I'm not gonna do it just because like I'm gonna like start missing some people, and people are gonna get upset, like, oh, you didn't say me. If we were friends in elementary school or high school, I'm thinking of you. I didn't actually write down a list of names, so it's just like I'm just going off the top of my head. But if you were there and I talked to you about it, if I ever mentioned it to you, then you know that you helped me out. That's all I want to say. And yeah, no, I've always wanted to just dedicate something to him. Like I've been constantly naming things after him, and like not even like an identity of thing of like, oh, I don't want anything after myself, and I'm just kind of living vicariously, trying to do something for my brother. But it's almost just like it's a dedication, you know what I mean? Like I want to dedicate something into him in just like a loving way. I never want to forget his memory, because we have a lot of good times, a lot of little things a lot of people don't know that we had, you know. I've never really shared them too, and like maybe one day I'll share them, but like we used to have just like private conversations, things that dad, mom don't know about, my other brother doesn't know about. We should just hang out and just talk, you know what I mean? It's just like, but never, I guess, close enough for him to tell me that he was upset. But again, I was his younger brother, so I guess it was probably just a weird dynamic. How do I tell my younger little brother that I'm upset? Like he's not even gonna understand this like feeling I have. So yeah, that was just something that I always told myself I was gonna do, and I've always been really determined to do something like this, and I really kind of fits. Calm Conversations kind of just sounds cool too, to be honest. So like, why not? I just want, as like a closing remark, I just want people to, I want to pass this message on, because like, I think there's like another part of the whole podcast thing that I've kind of been like hang on, is like, I don't hate the whole social media thing, because like I think there's a lot of good parts to it, and like definitely there's a lot of negativity on the internet, but there's also a lot of positivity. It's all just sort of how you search for it and whatnot. But I feel like there's a lot of BS on the internet, a lot of just like gross fake shit. And on this podcast, I want to be as authentic as myself. I want to be like, I'm a goofy dude. I like to have conversations with people, and I like to get like deep into conversations, but I'm also lighthearted. Like, I'm a dude that loves comedy. I love Marvel, I love DC, like I love all these things. Like, I don't take life too seriously. I like the little things. I appreciate just like a good storyline in like a TV show, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to take things too seriously. So like, I want to have people on this podcast that like want to, I guess, share their experiences, share their stories, and then also are down to just have like a bullshit conversation or just talk about something silly, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want everything to be too serious. I don't want it to be too jokes, because like everyone has different aspects to them. Everyone's got a silly side that they don't want to show to everybody else. I'm not saying I want you to show that on the podcast, but I'm just saying that everybody has like a multiple sides to them. No one's one-dimensional, and if you are one-dimensional, then you're boring. I'm sorry. You get another dimension, you know what I mean? Like, have different parts to yourself. Again, you have the part that you don't show, and I'm gonna have parts of myself that I will show on this podcast that I'm gonna save for my family and their friends and my loved ones. And that's what I want to do with this. If you're listening to this, you could be on the podcast. I'm not really strict on who I want to have on this podcast. I think everybody has an interesting story. I think everybody has something to say, and I'd love to talk to a bunch of my friends. I'd love to talk to a bunch of my family members. I'd love to talk to people I've never even talked to in real life before. I'd love to talk to people through the internet, as long as we can make it work somehow. Guys, this is something that I want to do, and I'm doing it. The ball is rolling. I've had all this momentum like these past couple of weeks, and I'm just kind of like, I want to get the ball rolling. And this introductory episode is that's the way I'm gonna do it. So thanks for listening, guys, if you made it this far, and I hope I see you in the second episode. You're still here? You can go home. It's over. It's not a Marvel flick.